Hello, thank you for joining us. Welcome to Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguel. Before we begin, let's inform you that you can catch us on our website is nta.ng/live and all other of our social media platforms displayed on the screen right now. The Federal Executive Council has approved the reconstruction of 4 critical roads infrastructure in parts of the country under the tax credit scheme valued at about 170 billion naira. Works and Housing Minister Babatunde Raji Fashola announced this while briefing journalists shortly after the council's meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari. We'll bring you the details of that in our subsequent bulletin. About 12 days to the All Progressives Congress Special Convention and Presidential Primary, support groups and stakeholders of the party are worried over the party's silence on zoning and mode of presidential primary election. Salihu Guanara reports that this APC support group is advocating politics devoid of regional, religion and tribal differences in the interests of national peace and political prosperity.
Our constitution is structured in such a way that the North alone cannot produce a president. Likewise, the South. We need each other. So definitely in the spirit, like I will repeat, in the spirit of justice, fairness, equity, and one Nigeria, APC should join it, which I believe at the end of the day will triumph. APC should join its presidential ticket to the South. Not just South, but to the Southwest.
The frontline presidential aspirant of the All Progressives Congress, Chibuike Rotimi Amechi, says job creation, tackling insecurity and revamping the agricultural sector will be top priorities if given the opportunity to pilot the affairs of the country. He made the promise while soliciting the support of Nasarawa State and FCT delegates for the forthcoming party primaries.
While in government house Lafia, Nasarawa State, the APC presidential aspirant Chibuike Rotimi Amechi said, having occupied key elective and appointed positions with glaring achievements, he is the most experienced in handling the challenges confronting the country.
I understand the intricacies of managing man and material, and I bring it to bear as one of the most experienced Nigerians that have been in public office. Excellency, I've been in public office back to back, 23 years non-stop, 23 years of experience, 23 years of knowing the challenges of the country, 23 years of trying to address them as it pertains to me. And I've not been in office without living something that history will remember before. Judge me by what I have, by the office I've held.
One introduction about you they have not done is the doggedness of who you are. You are a dogged fighter.
At a meeting with APC delegates in Lafia and Abuja, Chibuike Rotimi Amechi urged them to put into consideration the mental and physical capacity of each aspirant while voting. He was at the palace of Sarkin Kwangari Ahmadu Al-Makura, where he received royal blessings.
Countdown to the All Progressives Congress primaries, a presidential aspirant on its flagship Tien Jack Ridge has engaged the Niger State Party delegates with a promise of massive job creation and grassroots transformation if given the mandate. Hussaina Musa reports that Niger State was the first point of call for the aspirants immediately after his declaration.
The aspirant said he is yielding the call of the youth following the clamor for youth representatives in elective positions across the country. The philanthropist said he believes in the unity of Nigeria and is willing to lend his wealth of experience gained from the private sector into its transformation agenda.
Massive job creation, that's what I'm going to be creating. One of the ways we're going to take up a lot of this social unrest that has ravaged our local communities and all that is to hit them hard with massive economic opportunities for them. And for me, Niger State is one of the hotspots that I've identified as where I'm going to create my economic pipeline.
We'll keep your request under consideration. I'm sure most of the delegates are impressed with your presentation.
Tin Dakrit urged the delegates to make the right choice by giving him the mandate in order for Nigeria to get the desired growth and development. In Mena, Hussein Musa, NTA News.
Christopher Imumolen of the Accord Party has formally declared his intention to run the presidential race come 2023. Imumolen made the declaration at a press conference where he reiterates determination to address key issues confronting the country. He says his immediate priority will be centered on security, education and economy, and urged Nigerians to cast their ballots wisely.
Nigeria is one of the underdeveloped countries in the world that education should still be subsidized or, if possible, made free. Two things we are going to be tackling is, one, the employment for the people, and we're also going to be tackling educational problem. When I become the president of Nigeria, education will become one of our priorities. As a matter of fact, from the primary to tertiary level, education will be free for Nigerian people. It's possible, we can do it. It's not a rocket science. They are not doing it does not mean that we cannot do it. I am not one of those presidential aspirants who only would give promises. I would act before even I get to become the president.
The aspirant expressed satisfaction with the new Electoral Act as amended and urged INEC to exercise its mandate in line with the provisions of the Act. Well, the APC governorship primary elections slated for Friday, 20th May 2022 across the country. Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade says the aspirants who previously rejected the consensus arrangement have now come to the table of reconciliation. The governor stated this at the Margaret Ekpo International Airport after being away on consultation for a few days. Paul Abel will tell us more about it.
My brother Chris Agada, yesterday we had a final reconciliation meeting. I am sure that we'll be hearing the good news that Senator Basio too will be unopposed. Senator Waneno too have shown indication that he understands politics. He needs time to address his people, and ultimately he will address his people. Hopefully by Friday, we'll just have a consensus adoption of Senator Prince Basio too. And that way we are prepared for the 2022 elections.
On his presidential aspirations, Governor Ayade expresses optimism for his party, the APC, to go for a candidate who is not just a politician, but an industrialist, business-oriented, and an academic who will bring such wealth of experience to fix the country. Governor Ayade prides himself as one who has the track record to transform the fortunes of Nigeria. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
The electioneering campaign in Ekiti State is beginning to gather momentum, we hear, as residents applaud the various techniques by candidates to woo electorates. Adogbeji Ojegba reports.
Ekiti State gubernatorial election around the corner. The campaigns are here again as various political parties are out using different approach to canvass for support in the forthcoming governorship elections in the states. Some of the residents applaud the method adopted in wooing the people, which they say is insightful.
But people need to ask questions. We are voting for you, but you need to do something for us.
Trust matters. Not only that, they should say it. Critical collaborators in the electoral process agree that door-to-door campaigns is within the rights of the political parties to engage prospective voters, but wonder what the content of their discussion would be like.
So I familiarize with people, and I also use the media, both conventional and the new media.
All these house-to-house campaign I'm talking about must be effectively backed with power of media.
Going from door to door, from house to house, this time around, it shows desperation on the part of the parties and the candidates.
Some residents are a bit skeptical as they observe that the consultation, though necessary, has not served the desired purpose in the past, as records show that promises made during campaigns are seldom kept. But residents are hopeful that their desire will be met by the choices they make. From Ado-Ekiti, Adogbeji Ojegba, NTA News.
Deepening internal democracy remains the first layer of any participatory process. These are the views of critical players in the nation's democratic system on NTA Tuesday Live. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
Democracy provides various platforms for critical players to exercise mandate on the direction the internal process of establishing government should take. Now, the understanding of these party men is beyond the concept of grouping to wrestle power and control scarce resources, but deepening a process that is realistic and assuring.
A party must be a democratic institution, both internal and its relation to other political parties, in relation to the electoral process, in relation to the general mass of the people. It must be democratic holistically. Even if you have internal democracy, you are managing your processes and they are working properly, but you are not handling the relationship between you and other agencies of government or other agencies of the electoral process, not in a democratic manner, then it is incomplete.
What makes a party to stop being democratic? That, for me, is the character of the Nigerian state, where whoever is in power automatically controls the access to the largesse. If you notice the Akintola Awolowo saga, it was because as Awolowo went to become leader of opposition, Akintola was now the premier of the Western region and then stopped funding the party. So that was where the crisis came, because Akintola was in control of the state resources.
These stakeholders opined that interference with party processes should be minimal and party interest must reign supreme for stability and healthy competition.
I believe that what the National Assembly has done, although it is a lot far beyond their powers, but it has given the parties a lot of discipline, and the question of I own has really reduced. I think that we are likely to soon get to the position where the parties are owned by the people.
When it ended up that it is he who pays the pipers that dictate the tune, so you will have those who have stupendous sum of money, they can perpetuate themselves into power and run for election. So the end result is what you will find, that people who do not have the capacity to run for election or guide the party will be the one in the affairs of the party.
Internal process in every democracy the same may vary, but no doubt that it demonstrates party unity and entrench stability. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
The need to bring to an end the thriving corruption market, which negates successful efforts at tackling corruption across the country, has been re-echoed on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria. Guest on the program, however, insists now is the time to change the narrative. Let's hear the details from Lydia Sampson.
Checkmating corruption in the electoral process, which is multifaceted, the guest acknowledged is an Herculean task, but with reinvigorated political will and redirecting the conversation and educating the people on refusing temporary monetary gains for long-term good governance, Nigerians can champion the fight against corruption in the electoral process.
The issue is that corruption is a two-way or more than two-way traffic. An individual who is undergoing a particular process and is having a target which he wants to achieve, he cannot be able to achieve that target without bringing in a public officer who will assist him to corrupt the lawful process in order to achieve that target. The institutions, they want to do their work. The political will is a frustrating factor for institutions to function.
The guys are emphatic on institutions taking up greater efforts and mechanisms to identify corrupt public officers.
I think that what we need is political party reforms. At the end of the day, more involvement of people with these political parties. The strong men of political parties should not own, which is what happens now. They own these political parties. If political party members are allowed to pay their dues, political parties actually submit more to the authorities. We'll see less of this. So please, what we need right now is active political party reforms.
Sustaining media advocacy and agenda setting to further strengthen the people's confidence in doing the right thing, they say, can help the country in nipping corruption at all levels. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The Federal High Court has refused the bail application of the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. The presiding judge, Justice Binta Inyako, gave the ruling at the resumed trial of Nnamdi Kanu. Deleatomi reports.
The bail application, which was one of the interlocutory applications on the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, was based on his alleged ill health. Counsel to Nnamdi Kanu Mike Ezeokume SAN pleaded with the court to grant bail to the defendant, postulating that the facility where the defendant is detained cannot take care of his health needs. This application was objected to by the prosecution. The prosecution based its objection on the fact that the earlier bail granted in 2017 was jumped by the defendant. The court ruled in favor of the prosecution and denied the bail application of Nnamdi Kanu. After the ruling, it was time for the prosecution to open its case. However, counsel to the defendant reminded the court of a pending interlocutory application which went to the root of the matter. The application purportedly explained the circumstances surrounding the jumping of bail of the defendant in 2017. The prosecution counsel objected to the interlocutory application, pointing the attention of the court to the fact that the application has been overtaken by events. The prosecution also came up with 6 amended counts. The development would take the defendant to take a plea on the amended counts. However, for trial to commence without delay, the prosecution withdrew the amended charge, which was equally struck out by the court.
We have also brought our first witness, which is prepared to be filled today. But unfortunately, the defendant, using interlocutory application, stalled the proceedings of today. So we couldn't proceed with the hearing of the prosecution's case on the basis of the interlocutory application of the defendant.
That application shows that Section 15 of the Extradition Act must come into play, which is that Nnamdi Kanu left Nigeria involuntarily.
The matter has been adjourned to 26th May 2022 for ruling and commencement of trial. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
All right, let's head to Lagos to join Kende. She's going to give us the next set of reports.
Ruth, glad to have you join us in Lagos. States across the country are set to come together to strategize and adopt sustainable technological innovation capable of addressing security challenges to turn around the fortune of the transportation sector in the country. This was disclosed by members of the Nigeria Transportation Commissioners Forum at a media interactive session to unveil the maiden edition of the National Transport Technology Conference slated for June 2022 in Lagos. Musa Tolet has details.
Road crashes, lot of man-hours in traffic, insecurity, and continued carbon monoxide emissions are just few of the challenges bedeviling the transportation sector. The conference, therefore, will provide the opportunity for states to deliberate and explore available technological solutions to address these challenges, which is long overdue.
Discussions geared towards improving efficiency and sustainability of transport technology solutions in Nigeria for proper implementation and development with other topical issues will be clearly highlighted at the conference. Such light will be beamed on the road transport sector, which is perceived to have been ignored. Solutions will be proper to issues faced daily by operators and users alike.
Stakeholders are expected to discuss multimodal transport system as well as collaborate with information technology subsector to drive effective implementation of an enduring transport plan across the states.
We are looking forward to having both policymakers, operators within the sector at this event, and technology will be displayed. There will be solutions. Our hope is that at the end of this conference, there will be an action plan with which the federal government, the Federal Ministry of Transportation will draw policies from and to ensure that best practices are being deployed in the transportation sector of this country.
The maiden edition of National Transport Technology Conference is scheduled to hold between 7th and 8th of June in Lagos this year. Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Application of modern technology in agriculture has been identified as a sureway to overcome food insecurity and high rate of unemployment in Nigeria. This was recalled at the matriculation ceremony of the Federal College of Agriculture, Isiago, Ebonyi State. Innocent Agbo completes the report.
The college, in pursuant of its mandate, which among other things include raising experts in agricultural production, research, promotion, marketing, among others, since inception has kept faith in its annual induction of future leaders into the institution. The 34th edition had over 900 graduates admitted through the Oath of Allegiance. Chairman, Governing Board of the College, Mr. Jacob Begede, who charged the newly intake to be dedicated to their studies and promote good image of the college, also enumerated their challenges, while the Provost, Dr. Michael Okoronkwo, and others recounted their achievements, promising sustainability.
Product agriculture and its environs need connected international grids.
The school is fully prepared. The government is really sponsoring the college very well. That is why we'll have another wherewithal to send our researchers, mostly the lecturers, to go and get abreast with new technologies.
Since the assumption of the current provost, I may tell you that almost everybody is happy.
Mr. Obeten, who represented the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, promised continuous support to the college. Some of the matriculants speak.
It's very, very awesome and amazing to see myself being admitted into a noble institution like this.
My promise to the school is to do my best to abide by the rules and the regulations guiding the school.
The matriculants in their different courses will be awarded the Higher National Diploma Certificates on successful graduation. In Abakaliki, Innocent Abong, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on all the social media handles displayed on your screen for update. Let's take a short break. Nationwide continues with Obey in Benin shortly. Thank
you for staying with Nationwide on the NTA and welcome to Benin. A 32-year-old lady is in the custody of the Edo State Command of the Nigerian Immigration Service for alleged impersonation and passport racketeering. The suspect was paraded at the headquarters of the command. Goodluck Enaini reports.
The Office of the Immigration Service got the wind of the activities of the suspect in connection with the said offense from a video posted on her Facebook account, where she allegedly informed the public that she processes passport issuance. The officials of the service traced the address to Saple Road opposite Santana Market in Benin City to secure her arrest. The comptroller, the state command, Rabi Garba, while parading the suspects, expressed concern at the situation.
She was charging members of the public to come to her to obtain urgent passports and other facilities to do with passport issuance, and have informed our service headquarters of the development. The offenses on conviction is for imprisonment for a term of 10 years or a fine of 2 million naira or both.
While confessing to the crime, the suspect, who said she has been in the business for over 2 months, named Juan Ugo, an immigration officer in Lagos, introduced to her by her cousin as her accomplice. She admitted that so far she has issued passports between 130 and 140,000 naira to 3 persons.
I didn't know that it was a great offense for me to have done that, which I'm really sorry.
Comptroller Rabi Gambo is urging the public to visit immigration offices close to them to obtain their passports in order not to fall into wrong hands. In Benin, Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
Patronizing made-in-Nigerian products will go a long way in promoting Nigeria's economy and create jobs for the country's unemployed youths. This came to the fore at the Change Begins With Me campaign of the National Orientation Agency in Akure, Ondo State. Kayode Olorundare reports.
The economy of any nation grows when citizens and critical stakeholders patronize and value locally made goods and products of their country. This Change Begins With Me campaign of the National Orientation Agency therefore aims at achieving that, just as there is a clearer call for government at all levels to support local manufacturers.
The government should be proactive in enhancing small-scale businesses.
And in that, we have tried to encourage medium and small enterprise to register their products, because as we know, they are the engine of the economy. We cannot rely on imported products alone.
The
There should be leadership by example. Leadership by example such that we have governors, directors, senators, president that will be using made in Nigerian products, starting from official vehicles.
The director of NOA in Ondo State is optimistic that the sensitization will yield positive results.
We want to achieve the vibrant economy. We have to improve on patronizing and promoting our own goods and services so that as foreign exchange will improve, the GDP will also improve.
The National Orientation Agency, NOA, is saddled with the responsibility of orientating and reorientation of Nigerians. In Akure, Kayode Olorundare, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Ruth in Abuja.
Thank you, Obehi. More than 3,000 people in Gurjia community Daura benefited from a one-day medical outreach organized by the headquarters of the 263 Nigerian Air Force Reference Hospital, Daura, Katsina State. Sani Basiru report.
The medical outreach was part of the activities lined up by the headquarters of the 263 Nigerian Air Force Reference Hospital, Daura, to celebrate the Nigerian Air Force at 58. The free medical services covers people with problems of blood pressure, malaria, diabetes, eye and dental problems.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Amao, tasked all NAF units to conduct a medical outreach to Nigerians for them to know that Air Force cares and touches life.
Air Commodore Okechukwu Vincent Ezenyagu assured that people whose ailments need surgery will be referred to Air Force Reference Hospital Daura for further evaluation. Beneficiaries of the exercise expressed joy over the gesture and commend the headquarters of the Nigerian Air Force for initiating such a laudable program that touches the lives of common people. From Daura, Sani Basiru, NTA News.
Strengthening the health sector in post-COVID-19 era is top on government's priority. This is why the Nigeria Governors Forum is partnering with Gavi Foundation to deliver a sound healthcare system. Nyeri John reports.
To help children survive and thrive, the health system needs sufficient funding to be sustainable. This is why the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency boards of 8 states in Nigeria are receiving funds from Gavi to strengthen their health systems.
Investing a little above over $50 million. The fund goes into strengthening health systems and primary health care.
The intervention is to run from 2022 to 2024, aimed at reducing mortality, improve vaccines, and prevent avoidable diseases.
Recruit more than 2,000 people, health workers like nurses and midwives, as well to do a big procurement to ensure that there are vehicles, motorbikes, boats in Bayelsa to really deliver the services that we need, and as well to increase routine immunization.
Help us to take responsibility, not just us at the health sector, but every player in the health sector.
Following signing of the MOU in February 2022, Bayelsa, Gombe, Jigawa, Katsina, Kebbi, Niger, Taraba, and Zamfara states are in the pilot phase of this initiative. In Abuja, Henry John, NTA News.
Establishing high-capacity community screening programs and the need to promote routine and accurate measurement of blood pressure at all clinical encounters are imperative to reducing the burden of high blood pressure on individuals and the society. This is a submission of cardiology experts who harp on the need for accurate measurement of blood pressure and its control for healthy living. Ifama Aikoje reports.
The global burden of hypertension, also known as high blood pressure, is rapidly increasing as evidenced by some systematic reviews showing that no fewer than 76.2 million Nigerians are hypertensive. More worrisome is the statistics, which shows that while 1 in 3 Nigerian adults has hypertension, only 1/3 of them are on treatment, while many others are unaware of their condition.
Majorly, it's actually asymptomatic, and someone with it, and it's associated with some grave consequences.
So, how often do you check your blood pressure?
I just finished now, and I've just checked now, and I'm okay. I checked up at least once a week.
To reduce the burden of high blood pressure and its accompanying complications, the need for routine blood pressure checks and accurate measurements, experts emphasize, still remains imperative.
My advice to the world population is that they should pay attention to their health from time to time. Go to the hospital and check their blood pressures, even when they are apparently healthy.
Initially, we used to think hypertension when middle-aged people, but no. Even if you are 19, just make it a lifestyle, even if it's once a year, to go sit down and check your blood pressure.
Well, it's quite important because sometimes it's actually too expensive to treat something that is preventable.
Healthy lifestyles, they say, could also stop, delay, or reduce the need for hypertension medication. While raised blood pressure still has no cure, early detection, control, and expert medical management are prescribed for a healthy living. In Uyo, Ifoma Ihoji, NTA News.
There is currently a growing interest in the capacity of African countries to curb HIV and AIDS as a public health threat by 2030, with many countries within the continent now falling behind key elimination milestones. Elizabeth Omori has details on innovative approaches being deployed to end the pandemic.
It gets to that critical stage where the human immunodeficiency virus overtakes the immune system. Then the floodgate opens to life-threatening infections and cancers thrive. The lifespan of an infected person without medical attention is estimated to be between 9 and 11 years. A survey by UNAIDS and Nigeria's National Agency for the Control of AIDS reveals that there are 1.9 million people living with HIV in Nigeria as of 2021. As the figures rise, steps have been taken to garner support across board towards eliminating the epidemic.
We must be able to identify more than 95% of people that live with the disease and put them on life-saving medication. That is what is going to help us to keep the virus within these people.
But then, there's also the issue of proper funding of HIV/AIDS treatment programs in Nigeria.
Gender-based violence negatively affects the health of women and undermine the efforts at HIV prevention.
Let us endeavor to prioritize addressing inequalities, including those affecting our children.
Equally important is the ongoing conversation on the culture of silence and stigmatization, driving HIV/AIDS prevalence in Africa. Some of the recommendations put forward by health experts would see increased and effective sensitization on the virus, while health authorities would need to monitor health expenditure and scale up activities on antiretroviral therapy for children in Africa. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Our next stop will be Sokoto. Nana will guide us.
Thank you, Ruth, for joining us here in Sokoto. Welcome, everybody, to Sokoto. The Independent National Electoral Commission has discovered more than 13,000 multiple registrations in the ongoing continuous voters registration across the 14 local government areas of Zamfara State. The INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner in the state, Professor Saidu Ahmed, made this known during a press conference in Gusau. Jamila Ibrahim has more.
The press conference by the Zamfara State INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner Professor Saidu Ahmad Babura was to give an update on the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise, which began about 11 months ago, as well as other preparations being made by the Commission towards the 2023 general elections. Professor Babura explained that as of December 2021, a total of 33,069 persons have completed their registration in Zamfara State. He, however, said 13,600 persons did multiple registration, representing 41.1% of the figure.
Our technology can detect
monitoring the restriction. And it's done scientifically, technologically, to enable us to decide these set of resistance, those who resistance are valid, while others are not valid.
Other issue discussed at the briefing was the recent creation of additional polling units across the country, where Zamfara State now has its polling units increased from 2,516 to 3,529. On the conduct of the party primaries ahead of the 2023 general elections, he used the medium to enjoin political parties to adhere to the provision of their respective constitutions and the laid down guidelines in the conduct of the primaries, as INEC could not condone any form of abuse of the electoral process.
By the 3rd of June, all the political parties have conducted their primaries, and that is not negotiable.
On the Electoral Act 2022, Professor Barbara said the new law gives the Commission legal backing for the electronic transmission of results, early commencement of party primaries, as well as power of political parties to conduct primary election to replace a dead candidate, among other things. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Issues relating to proper remuneration and conducive atmosphere for workers dominated the session at the NEC meeting of Ratau in Birnin Kebbi, the Kebbi state capital. Abubakar Garba Digi reports.
Addressing the president, the outcome of the meeting, President of the Association, Kabir Garbaz Enni, said the union, under his watch, has asserted the importance of education among its members in various ways, most especially through workshops and sponsorship for further education.
The number of members in my party and the best of Allah have brought the minority in this society, especially in this last lap of our years. I use this opportunity also to seek your additional support and loyalty.
He specifically reminded workers on the need to dedicate themselves to their duties and loyalty to the ideal of the union. The chairman of the union in Kebbi said Umar Abubakar Kalgu was full of praises for the members for finding Kebbi worthy of hosting the event.
To thank my union, the Ratau National Union, for giving Kebbi State this opportunity to host National Executive Council, and also the assistance given by the state government.
In Birnin Kebbi, NTA News.
Okay, you can follow our news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and our YouTube channel, NTA News Online. You can also follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now and our Facebook page, NTA Network News. You can also join us on Instagram at NTA Network for updates. That's it for us here in Sokoto. We now join Port Harcourt for the continuation of Nationwide. Bye-bye.
Anna, and welcome to Port Harcourt. 5 books have been presented to the public in honor of Justice Mary Odili on her retirement from the Supreme Court and 70th birthday celebration. Ogedinyekwe reports that Governor Nyesom Wike unveiled the books.
The 5 books presented to the public in honor of Justice Mary Odili on her retirement from the Supreme Court and 70th birthday celebration encapsulates her extraordinary life, times, career, challenges, and accomplishments. Governor Wike, while unveiling the book, said judicial officers are mandated to uphold the rule of law, protect fundamental rights, and dispense justice to all persons without fear or favor.
The problems and challenges of Nigerian judiciary continue to be topical issues at every formal gathering of lawyers, judicial event, or discourse, and may remain so until lasting solutions are found.
The book's reviewer, Justice Adama Iyaye Laminkara, said the books describe Justice Mary Odili as a quintessential jurist who has traversed all the 4 benches of the judiciary.
The thematic verse reflects the various areas in which Justice Mary Odili has made marks in Nigerian jurisprudence.
The celebrant appreciated all those who have assisted her to rise to the peak of her career.
And so I am very happy that some of my judgments have been captured in print. My own judgments are now in the open for everyone to look at. All anyone can say is she didn't apply the law properly here,
She did not understand the law properly, but no one can ever say she gave judgment because of an interest in the matter.
Other dignitaries in their goodwill messages described Justice Mary Audley as an epitome of jurisprudential fairness in the temple of justice. In Port Harcourt, Ogedi Nyekwe, NTA News.
The popular Itab market in Oyo, Akwa Ibom State, has been razed with goods worth millions of naira being destroyed. Kelvin Samuel reports that proactive effort of firefighters and market security personnel, however, saved the market from further damage.
An eyewitness says the fire disaster started at about 10 o'clock in the night when all the traders were already at their various homes after the day's business. To save the market from further damage, the security personnel at the market immediately contacted the fire service while making effort to secure the goods in some of the shops. Luckily, personnel of the fire service arrived in good time to put out the fire, which had already damaged 3 shops before help came.
They have to order the security to break the shops to save the goods. When the fire service should come, we have saved the goods. So when the fire service now came, they now help us to quench the fire. This is quite unfortunate that this kind of disaster should happen at the time that the economy is beating harder and at a very evil hours of the night.
Shop owners appeal for help to get them back on track.
I had my money that yesterday was almost 250,000. Last week, I collect contribution, number 20 putties on the shop. We need their help because at this point now, we are lost because this thing is something that will diminish many people. It has taken many people to village, and there is no how we can go back to the village empty hand. I'm a pusher. I don't try to help myself because I don't tire.
The actual cause of the fire incident is yet to be known at the time of filing this report. In Uyo, Kelvin Samuel, NTA News.
And that's all from here. It's now back to you, Ruth.
Thank you, Gabriel. Engagements on youth participation and answering the youth question ahead of the 2023 elections have begun, with the British Council, European Union and local partners playing significant roles. Ikechukundukwe witnessed the latest series.
By the year 2030, 79 million jobs will cease to exist in sub-Saharan Africa, with the potential of over 3 million jobs leveraging on digital economy, according to Center for Information Technology and Development, CITAD. This burden is the driving force for stakeholders in engaging youth on how to take advantage of the 2023 elections to advance their cause as critical vulnerable social group.
A large share of youth are not in employment, education, or training. The consequences of unemployment can be more severe for the youth than others. United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, Article 29, mentions that persons with disabilities should be able to participate on an equal basis with others.
Most members of the judges being recruited are majorly youths. Majority are then unemployed, while a few of them are educated. Youths are supposed to be a rigid pillar of the society.
The timing for this dialogue could not have been better. As Nigeria and Nigerians prepare for the 2023 general election,
Our vision globally and in Nigeria is to build connections, understanding, and trust to increase peace and prosperity around the world.
The British Council, European Union, and other stakeholders believe if proper enlightenment on youth participation in politics is carried out, insecurity, unemployment would have been reduced to the barest minimum. Ikechukundukwe, NTA News.
Nigerians in Diaspora Commission and Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria are set to launch Diaspora Housing Scheme. Obiageli Ugoke reports that the Diaspora Housing Scheme will offer Nigerians in the diaspora up to 15 million mortgage loans to build houses in Nigeria.
World Bank reports indicate that Nigerians in the diaspora rank highest in terms of remittances. Despite this development, one of the biggest problems facing Nigerians in the diaspora is housing. NIDCAM has therefore designed the Diaspora Housing Project to enable Nigerians in diaspora acquire shelter easily in Nigeria. The Federal Mortgage Bank will avail diasporans the opportunity to make monthly contributions of 1 year and ultimately access mortgage loans to own houses back home without having to physically come to Nigeria before participating.
And I'm sure they all want to build houses much more than that, which they can afford to do. And then be able to own their own homes through developers that, are certified. So we'll cut all the dripping and the problems encountered with Nigerians abroad. We've concluded all the arrangements, everything is in place, but just to take off.
It's a platform that we believe will be of immense value to Nigerians in diaspora, and we are willing to seriously make sure that the scheme is launched as quickly as possible.
An online platform has also been developed by NIDCAM. 1,700 Nigerians in diaspora have so far indicated interest. A date is to be announced for the proposed launching of the Diaspora Housing Project for the end of May. Obiageli Ugwoke, NTA News.
All right, one quick break. We're back shortly. Welcome back. Let's do sports update.
The International Volleyball Federation FIVB has applauded Nigeria for her initiatives towards the growth and development of the sport in the country. FIVB Vice President Mushtaq Mohammed spoke in Abuja while leading a delegation on a 5-day assessment tour of Nigeria volleyball. Meanwhile, 5 matches will be decided Thursday as the ongoing 2022 Nigeria Volleyball Federation National Division 1 League climaxes in grand style. In the men's category, JVC of Bauchi will be up against Caliphate Spikers of Sokoto, Nigeria Immigration Service squared up against Spartan Spikers of Yola, while UCEM of Enugu face ABM of Katsina. For the women's fixtures, Olalomi Royal Spikers will file out against Anambra Queens as Bayonet Spikers of Jaji test the strength of Yelwa Spikers of Bauchi. About 100 young basketball talents aged between 6 to 18 years have taken part in a one-day clinic in Abuja under the tutelage of 2 America-based coaches. Organizers, which include FCT Basketball Association, believe the series is a reliable avenue to produce future basketball stars for the glory of the nation.
Kids in Nigeria are very athletic. They play hard, compete well. We've seen a lot of good players, and it's been really fun just to kind of hopefully teach them a couple things that they can walk away with, a couple different ways they can practice, and get even better than they already are.
So we say, how do we change this? It's by doing consistently running basketball clinics by professional coaches, teaching the players the right thing to do repeatedly so that it become a habit in them.
The one-day clinic featured morning and evening sessions. That's Sports Update. I am Kenen Ima Abodike, NTA News.
And we're done. Thank you very much for your time. But remember, with your support, we can win the war against rape and rapists. I'm Ruth Aguela. Bye.